Good evening. My name is Malik, Palestinian Muslim from Jerusalem, 15 years old. I had all my meals with Sabrina for 3 weeks in the Seeds of Peace camp. So Sabrina, you asked me what is like living as a Palestinian living in Jerusalem. I'll tell you that you should accept to live under the Israeli occupation. It means that you may have a checkpoint in front of your house in any day, on your way to school, on your way to your job. In this checkpoint, you'll have an insulting body search. You have to carry your ID. For me, as a teenager, I don't have ID, so I have to carry my birth certificate wherever I go. Here, like I have it in my pocket. Here, this birth certificate, I should hold it wherever I go. As a Palestinian living in Jerusalem, I don't have any proof shows that I am a Palestinian. My passport is Jordanian. My ID is Israeli. My birth certificate is Israeli. And this is the most thing that's hard to accept. It's like living in a home that you don't belong to. Another point. When you're a Palestinian minor living in Jerusalem, you may get arrested at 3 a.m. from your own house without even knowing why. For 2 weeks, my friend at school, Fadi, he was arrested from his house at 3 a.m. without even knowing why. No one could know, even his lawyer and his family. No one could know why he was arrested. Until now, 400 children are in the Israeli occupation prisons. In 2015, I had to pass a checkpoint every day I wanted to go to school. Let me tell you a story. There was a boy called Raed. Raed is 13 years old. He was passing a checkpoint on his way to school. In this checkpoint, he was shot to death. He was shot in his legs, in his shoulders, in his head. His right shoulder was almost cut from his body. From the shots he was shot. His family received his dead body after 2 weeks from this crime. And the killers didn't get their punishment.
مشكلة لما صار لك وقت كتير فوق لأنه قولي بيدح للشرطة قولي صار له ساعة وقت.
ليش ممنوع أصور يعني؟
تقدر تصور أما صار لك وقت واقف فوق. فهمت علي؟
طب عادي يعني طريقة.
اطلع فوق على الدرج. في عندك فوق منظر أكبر. فهمت علي؟ يمكن يجي بالسياح.
إيه؟
أما صار لك وقت كتير فوق. فهمت علي؟
طب شو المشكلة إني قاعد أصور هون؟
مش فاهم. اطلع فوق بس بتصور.
Just right now, while recording the video, an Israeli soldier stopped me and told me I won't let you stand here and recording the video. He asked me many questions like, why are you recording and where are you from? And as usual, he asked me about my birth certificate and I showed it to him. So now I had to change the place where I'm recording. You asked me also about the Palestinian flag colors and what do they represent. So, the Palestinian flag colors are red, black, white and green. The black represent the injustice and the suffering that the Palestinian people had lived in many ages. And the white represent the peace that the Palestinian people dream to live. The green represent the beautiful land and the better future. And the red represent the blood of the people who were killed for this nation and for this land. And the Palestinian people had used these colors in their traditional clothes, especially in the Palestinian traditional dress.
على عهدي على ديني على أرض تلاقيني أنا لأهلي أنا فديهم أنا دمي فلسطيني أنا دمي فلسطيني على أرض تلاقيني أنا لأهلي أنا فديهم والله أنا دمي فلسطيني أنا دمي فلسطيني
My name is Ella. I'm a 15 years old Jewish Israeli and I live in Jerusalem. So, Sabrina, you asked me how does it feel to live in Israel as a Jewish Israeli, and honestly, most of the time it's pretty normal. I do dance class, I go to scouts, and just do, normal teen stuff. But once in a while, there is like a more tense phase, and then it will be like, I'll try not to get out of the neighborhood if I don't have to, just to stay protected. So you ask me what are my feelings about going to the army, and honestly I know my opinion probably won't be as popular around non-Israelis, but I'm honestly so excited to go and protect my country and the citizens and just everybody. My opinion about the conflict is honestly I think it's pretty pointless. I mean, I have so many Palestinians friends from camp that I almost cannot meet outside of Seeds like meetings because it's harder for them to get into Israel and it's illegal for me to get into the West Bank. And honestly, like, why can't we all just get along? I think that I can contribute to resolving the conflict and bringing peace by basically just keep going to Seeds activities and just putting whatever I learned there and the stories of people from the other side out there, and just letting people know what really happens, because people actually don't know what happens on the other side. I know I didn't. The Israeli Seeds were singing the song all the time at camp.
שנשטפה אל החוף בלי ברירה, הנה בגל גדול סוחף אותה בחזרה, כבר ויתרתי, כמעט אמרתי נואש, והלב שלי חזר לפעום מחדש. איך אפשר שלא להתאהב בך? איך אפשר שלא להתאהב? איך כולם בעולם לא ואוהבים בך גם, איך אפשר שלא להתאהב?
So my name is Rasil Hadadin. I'm Jordanian and I'm Christian, and me and Sabrina were in the same bunk. Oh, bunk 2! So Sabrina, you asked me how it was living in Jordan, and here are a few things you didn't know about being a Jordanian. So being a Jordanian, I'm greatly influenced by the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, considering I'm half Palestinian. My mom was born there and raised there for a while, and so it greatly influences my identity. And part of being as Jordanians, there's so many Palestinians living in our land, so they're in our everyday lives, and it greatly influences us. And in the past, we were one country, and so although we're different countries now, the borders don't affect the way that we're still, in some sort of way, the same country, and we are the same people by the end of the day. Something special about the Jordanian cultural dress and what I love, first of all, it's called the madraka, which is the name of it. And then I love it because it's basically symbolizes us as Jordanians, as it's the black dress with the red color, which is kind of our national color. And it's a really beautiful dress, and it's a beautiful piece of artwork, we can say, because it's basically hand sewn designs from red rope, and then there can be some color, and they take different shape.
أول القول ذكر الله والشياطين نخزيها دق الفنجان بدلها حول المعازيم واسقيها هو يا بي يا بي يا بي حمول الكف شويه
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm 15 years old. I live in Egypt and I'm Muslim. I was with Sabrina in the same table one. This question of how a Muslim girl lives in Egypt has been brought up a lot to me in camp, and this is one of my favorite topics, to make people understand that I'm not living in a prison. I live my life, I wear hot shorts, I wear crop tops, I'm not wearing a veil. I have guy friends, I laugh, I sing, I dance, I actually do whatever I want. But let's say inside of Cairo, no, sorry, I can't walk around in the street wearing crop tops. I can't go around the street wearing booty shorts or a really tight pant. My feelings are really complicated being connecting to the Israeli and Palestinian conflict because my grandfather was involved in it. It's really hard for me to hear his stories. He's been involved in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict in really, really, really harsh ways. And for me, it's really hard. I take it really personally. Egypt doesn't have a really big role as of now, but like 10 years ago, Egypt was one of the main countries that Israel was targeting. So yeah, it's really personal for me, even though that Israel doesn't say or doesn't admit or doesn't show that they want Egypt or Sinai. They're trying to take it until now. And it's really hard for me as an Egyptian to think that one day a part of my land won't belong to me anymore. To say that I can fix anything between the conflict, but contributing, like I can, like Seeds of Peace, I went to Seeds of Peace to try. I wanna major political science. Israelis are not my enemies as people, not as a country. I respect them. I respect their opinions. It's just that it gets too personal and I get angry. I have anger problems, especially in this part. Bringing peace is going to be really hard between Egypt and Israel, but I'll do everything I can to bring peace. I'll contribute in more events, in more camps. When I grow up and study political science, I'm gonna do everything I can. It's just that I'm just a teen. Traditional clothes, oh my god, this is the best thing. Okay, so Egypt has a lot of traditional clothes because we're like Alex has traditional clothes. Cairo, Aswan, Luxor, there are traditional clothes all around Egypt, so it's just really exciting. In Seeds of Peace, I wore traditional clothes of actually Aswan. Okay, they're all kinds of colors. They're like a belly dancing dress. It's really fun, really, really fun. Okay, I love everything about Egyptian traditional clothes because like they're fun. The girls, like, they have a lot of colors and a lot of accessories that do sounds and these stuff. So I absolutely love traditional clothes in Egypt.
بلدنا أمانة في ايدينا نعليها مدام عايشين نعيش فيها سنين وسنين واحنا مطمنين ما شربتش من نيلها طب جربت تغنيلها جربت في عز ما تحزن تمشي بشوارعها وتشكيلها ما مشيتش بضواحيها طيب ما كبرتش فيه ولا ليك صورة عالرملة كانت عالشط في معانيها المستقبل مش سهل، يمكن ناسي انك فيها مش وحشك ولا غبت عليها، بس اللي مجرب وفارقها في الدنيا مفيش بعديها.
Hello there, I am Muhammad Hamza and I am 16 years old. I live in Lahore, which is the second biggest city of Pakistan. I am religiously a Muslim. This past summer, I was at the Seeds of Peace camp in Maine, where I got the opportunity to meet teens from different countries of the world. That's where I got to talk to Sabrina, Eric, Shania, and many other super amazing people who helped me in understanding different cultures of the world. About the conflict, I personally believe that as a citizen of Pakistan, I, although am not being directly involved or affected by what's happening in Kashmir, I do get to hear a lot about the Kashmiri issue, and that's mostly because of the immense support in Pakistan for the Kashmiri cause. And the Pakistani media and the social media also plays an important role in doing it, because every day there are new footages being brought to us, new stories about different names and different kinds of torture and suffering done to the Kashmiris at the hands of the Indian army. For me, it's very hard to see the suffering and hardships that the Kashmiris are going through each and every day, and it's very hard to hear about all the chaos and stuff happening in Kashmir, because literally thousands of people have lost their lives for nothing, and that's just because of the mistakes of the political leaders at the time of independence during the partition in 1947. And the only solution that I see to this issue is that a free and fair voting procedure should be held in Kashmir to decide whether the people want to go to India or Pakistan. So Sabrina, you asked me about any personal stories or any experiences that I have had with Kashmiris. Well, I haven't had much talks with them, but I have something that has affected me a lot. So basically, my brother went to a college trip last year to the Pakistani side of Kashmir, and he was visiting different places, and he came to a place where the division between India and Pakistan was because of a river flowing between the two lands. And there he met a man who said that who told him about how every year at Eid, which is a festival which is a festival celebrated by Muslims. So every year at Eid, his family they go to the edge of the river and near the Pakistani side, and as the river is not very wide, so they can see what's happening in the other side, and the rest of their family, which lives in the Indian side of Kashmir, they gather on the opposite side, and they both see each other as they cannot pass or meet each other. Both the families or like both the parts of families, they see each other and they wave each other, and they cannot talk to each other, but still they just that's their meeting. That's how they meet each other, by waving each other, seeing each other. And and these kind of, there are many stories like that, and such stories hurt a lot, because they make us feel that something needs to be done about the Kashmiris. Also very relevant here to mention that, in my opinion, Kashmir should be a part of Pakistan, because in 1947, during the time of partition, it should have gone to Pakistan. We all know that the majority of the Kashmiris were Muslims and wanted to go to Pakistan. The ruler was a Hindu, and since he wanted an independent state, that was not happening. So he asked for India's help to stabilize the condition, and that made the Indian army get hold of Kashmir. But in Hyderabad, Hyderabad and Junagadh, both states, there was a similar condition. The people were majority of the people were Hindus, but the rulers were Muslims. But the Indian army occupied the places, they demolished the state, and they included it as part of their own territory. So, in my opinion, that the India has always used its influence and its power to mold the rules to and to suit its own needs, and that is not fair. And so that's another reason why I think that Pakistan should get Kashmir. But whatever the case is, I think that a plebiscite should be held in Kashmir, and that's what the real solution that should be, to know what the people want and then to act accordingly to it. So what I'm wearing right now is the national dress of Pakistan. It's called a shalwar kameez. This shirt, the upper part, which is a long shirt, is called the kameez, and the lower baggy kind of trouser is the shalwar. And it is worn by both men and women, but the pattern and the style and the fabric used is different for both. It is worn in all types of colors, like white. This one is a plain shirt, plain shalwar kameez, but many people wear it in red color, green, pink, and like all types of colors are used for it.
जन्नत भी गवारा है मगर मेरे लिए ऐ कातिबे तकदीर मदीना लिख दे ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम हो निगाहे करम ताजदारे हरम हो निगाहे करम हम गरीबों के दिल भी संवर जाएंगे हम ये बेकसां क्या कहेगा जहां
Hello, so my name is Shanaya Lalji. I am 15 years old. I live in India and I live in Mumbai in India, which is the biggest metropolitan city. I don't identify with one religion. I am half Muslim and half Zoroastrian, and I couldn't possibly choose one best friend in the whole world, but probably my top are Sohani, Kiana, Sabrina, Anusha. Yeah. So being a girl in India for me and for the community that I live in is incredibly different from what most of the girls have, what most of the girls' reality is in India. So for me, I've grown up in a family that's incredibly forward-minded and has always taught me that I have nothing to be ashamed of being a girl. I'm strong and I can choose my place in the world. And yeah, you think, why is it even a thought that you should be ashamed of being a girl? But thousands and millions of girls in India are taught that by being a girl, they are inferior to men, and that their only place in the world is to be providers. To be provided for their husbands and cook and clean, and they can't pursue what they want to do. Growing up in India, you would have undoubtedly heard the words Kashmiri conflict because it is a major issue in India. But at the same time, people have stopped giving importance to it, the importance it needs, as in to try any means in resolving it, because people believe that it's now become a constant, like there's nothing we can do about it. And the way that I feel connected to it is because it's a major issue in my country. It is the reason, it's not only the loss of lives, it has been causing prejudice in people's minds for 70 years. Generations upon generations have been told the same stories and how we're not supposed to love the people who are across the border. But they don't realize that we were the same country for God knows how long. In these past 70 years, how can they change that in just by drawing a border? So the way that I'm connected to it is because I know the truth, and I know that you aren't supposed to just, that it's not, I've always been someone who's felt passionately about the issues that have been going on in my country, and this is one of the major ones, and I feel connected to it because, like I said, it is caused prejudice after prejudice, killed thousands of innocent lives, and how can you not feel connected to it? No, I may not have relatives living there, I may not have gone there personally, but I still feel a personal connection to it, even especially after Seeds of Peace, when I've actually talked to the people on the other side and understood their perspectives as well. I feel like now I have an even more of a drive to try and do anything and everything to try and solve this issue that has been ongoing for 70 years. And yeah, I feel like in India the main problem and the whole issue behind the Kashmir conflict is that everyone is not aware. No one is aware of what is truly going on there and what is truly pushing the whole stigma between the two countries. I think that what I can do to contribute is that make people aware that no, Pakistan is not your enemy. It's not your enemy. We were the same country just a mere 70 years ago, and we don't have to fight. To make people aware that just because for 70 years we have been told the same thing again and again, that they are your enemy, it's not the truth. I feel like the one thing that I can contribute, at least at this point in my life, and maybe further I can contribute even more, but at this point, making people aware of what is going on and how that we don't have to fight is what I think I can contribute. So about the traditional outfits, I think India has one of the most beautiful cultures in the world. It is unlike any other culture that I've ever seen, and the kind of the colors that are seen in our traditional outfits are not seen in any other culture. Yes, of course Pakistan, because we have such a similar culture, but I think I really love how I feel in them. Just when I wear clothes like Indian clothes, I feel more connected to my heritage, even if that may sound a little silly. I feel a lot more connected to my heritage, and it makes me feel happy. I don't know why, but it just makes me feel happy wearing those long skirts, those bright colors. That's unlike anything I wear on a daily basis.
इतना मजा क्यों आ रहा है, तूने हवा में भांग मिलाया, इतना मजा क्यों आ रहा है, तूने हवा में भांग मिलाया, दुगना नशा क्यों हो रहा है, आंखों से मीठा तूने खिलाया,
वो तेरी मलमल की कुर्ती गुलाबी हो गई, चली चाल के नवाबी हो गई, बलम पिचकारी जो तूने मुझे मारी, तो सीधी सादी चोरी शराबी हो गई, चीज पहन के जो तूने मारा ठुमका, तो लड्डू पड़ोसन की भाभी हो गई, बलम पिचकारी जो तूने मुझे मारी, तो सीधी सादी चोरी शराबी हो गई, चीज पहन के जो तूने मारा ठुमका, तो लड्डू पड़ोसन की भाभी हो गई। तेरी कलाई है हाथों में आई है, मैंने मरोड़ा दौलत की मलाई है,
मेरा पड़ेगा ये इसको मलाई का, बात करने में मेरी भलाई है,
वो बिंदिया तेरी महताबी हो गई, के अरमानों में बेहिसाबी हो गई, बलम पिचकारी जो तूने मुझे मारी, तो सीधी सादी चोरी